Oh, snap. It's the Snap Black Podcast.
Welcome to the Snap Black Podcast. I am Poe Theory.
Hey guys, Little Mrs. Trendy here.
Okay, what the voice again?
What voice?
Like this podcast voice is like wild. Because you do not sound like that. See, that laugh is not the voice of what the fuck that just was.
You're annoying.
Okay. Guys, welcome back to our second episode of the season. On this episode, we will be recapping, well, more so just an overall review of the state of Real Housewives of Potomac. They're in danger. They're in danger.
Not doing well.
Like, at all. As Danielle knows, I have not been watching Potomac. It's become one of those shows, like, I'll just catch it at the reunion and I can figure out what happened during the season. So I have such high hopes for Potomac at the beginning of the season, and then they just disappoint me at every turn.
Oh, absolutely. And honestly, what it comes down to is they need to start off with revamping the cast. I don't know who brought NECA on. I get it, the aesthetic, but also the personality. But I just don't like her with this mix of women, personally.
I don't understand how NECA got to stay, but my girl, the little short girl, I can't remember her name.
It starts with an A. Escala.
Escala was giving vibes. Escala was cute. Like,
DC
all
girl.
the things. DC
Cute,
girls.
young family.
Right. Like,
she's actually a housewife. That's
right.
Seemed one.
Seemed pretty popular. I don't know what NECA gave in this season. I mean, in preliminary producing or whatever the case may be, that they felt like, you know what, this is the one.
What did the casting video give? That's what. Yeah. What did that look like? Again, they could have. You know how many affluent African women there probably are in Potomac too? Anybody but her. Like, I just don't see it. And the fact that she came in with, I feel like, with a chip on her shoulder already, like she had something to prove, was really wild. And it was a different type of arrogance than Wendy when she came on, because she also had this high horse and she really toned herself down. And her character development, honestly, I will say, throughout her time being on Housewives, is honestly for the better. I'm very proud of who she is today versus the person she came on the show.
I agree with that. But I do think we just need to get back to a show where the women can be around each other, have fun, talk, get along. Yeah. Obviously, we're going to have drama. We're going to, they're going to argue when they get together. But we always want them to come back and be able to be friends. And it just feels like Giselle is holding this cast hostage.
Oh, yeah. I don't like her walking around trying to portray the fact that she is the star of Potomac. Like, in her eyes, she actually is the Nene of Potomac, and it's really wild.
But it almost feels like production and the network are
backing her with that.
Yeah, they're positioning her that way. She's doing promos. No one else on Potomac is doing promos but her.
She has done a couple commercials too. She did a little smearing off shit, and then she did. She has done a couple things for the network. That is correct.
Yeah, they only pick people that they are positioning and putting their money behind, and they feel like she's extremely marketable. And for me, I just don't understand. I've read in books regarding white supremacy, where like white supremacy hurts everyone. It also hurts white people too, like where you're biting, how does it say, you're biting off your nose to spite your face?
Yeah.
That's kind of almost how I feel, and I'm not comparing Real Housewives of Potomac to white supremacy, but just the premise of how you are, by running your show in the way that you're running it, you're biting off your nose to spite your face. where you are just, because you have a problem with these said cast members,
Right.
you just feel like, you know what, F them. Even if they're great for the show, I don't care. I want them gone.
Yeah.
And what would your show be without Candace? What would a show be without Wendy?
Yeah. Well, you already know. Can't nobody come back as slicker than the tongue, honey, than our good girl Candace. Now she'll fry somebody. When she be doing that lady forehead,
it's all just so frustrating to me. And I was just like, you know what? Then you told me to watch this episode. I'm gonna watch it. And I watched it and I was just irritated. I was irritated the whole time I was watching it. And unfortunately, I was slightly irritated by Wendy. Like when Nneka walked up to her and was like, hey, I felt like this was an olive branch and Wendy wasn't with it. I know it's unfair for me to say Wendy should, accept the olive branch or give an olive branch when Nneka is the one that started all this energy. But when it's so many people on that cast that are refusing to talk to each other or refusing to engage with each other,
right?
When, even rightfully so, Wendy having that response, it just becomes such a disjointed mess.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating.
And the crazy thing about it is you can't fault, and just like you said, it makes sense because when you're refusing to be around, you can't expect someone. Now you don't talk about that girl mom said witchcraft or whatever voodoo type shit you said. Now you okay, I invited you to my husband's oregano party because that was
not
wild.
Oregano. Now, like you could have just had the party in DC and smoke and cause weed is legal in DC. Like for the life of me, I didn't understand why they did that.
Even before production, though, weed was legal in DC. So that's why I'm like, even before when they were filming the show, it was definitely legal.
They were shooting, but they were shooting in Maryland, and I'm saying because weed was just legalized in Maryland. It was just legalized, but the law didn't enact yet. So I'm saying, you could have easily just had your party in DC. So you can have real weed. That is just so weird to me.
So and that's what I didn't understand. And again, they could have and they go to DC for everything else. So that's why I didn't understand why they didn't just go to. I didn't understand that. So they have the oregano party. So you invited her to the oregano party, whatever. The girl was coming. I thought that was her coming to the party wasn't showing that she was a bigger person. Like that wasn't still coming from a good place. That was me coming to be nosy, Nneka coming to be nosy, and just saying, well, I did come to her event. And then fast forward to you trying to, quote unquote, extend an olive branch to her to do an unpacking party. Now, what party is that? Because what's the budget like for these parties? Because unpacking party and an oregano party, girl, y'all deserve to be friends.
Everything about Potomac just like if the listeners could see me right now, I am squeezing the bridge of my nose. It is so like I just don't understand how bad this show got. Like, how is it so bad? How?
Because at least when Charisse was getting cheated on by her ex-husband, it was something.
Something.
When Ashley's ex-husband was getting caught out with every man, woman, and whoever else.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Wasn't that on camera?
Well, the men part we don't know.
Oh, allegedly.
But I don't know. This is where I'm at right now. We need a cash shakeup. Get rid of Robin. I don't understand why she's there.
Definitely get rid of fucking Robin. Oh my God.
I feel like if you get rid of Robin, that'll force Giselle to play. Because we know the network is not getting rid of Giselle.
They're not going to get rid of Giselle.
So we need to get rid of Robin. Mm-hmm. We're still going to have Giselle. Keep Candace. Keep Karen.
Yep.
And keep Wendy. You get rid of... Yeah, and you get rid of Ashley and Robin. And
honestly, and Mia.
Get rid of Nneka.
Mia too.
Oh, see, and you know what's so crazy?
You forgot about her?
Didn't even think about her to remove her because I forgot that she was there.
You see what I'm saying? Now.
Oh, now my hair hurt even more. Oh my God, my hair hurt even more.
Mia is a mess inside and out.
Mia is Drew. Mia to me is the equivalent of what Atlanta did when they casted Drew Fedora. It's corny. Nobody like it's just
Nobody
it's
wants
lame. And even
Take us
just
out the
like
group
it's
chat.
so like what blows my brain, and I don't know, and this may be like a little bit too deep of a synopsis or an analytical a hypothesis when it comes to Giselle and her how she behaves on this show. On the last episode, when Mia walked in and she was like, "Oh my God," Giselle was like, "Oh my God, look at you, you're so pretty." And I'm just like, how is it that you gave all these other girls such a hard time when they first came in, but Mia, somehow you can just, accept
And
her
just let it roll. You
and
let
just
her
let
shit
it
roll
roll
right off. Yeah.
And what I've come to the conclusion on is that when you don't have anything going on, you don't want to be around anybody that got something going on. So you want to be around the losers. Because let's be clear.
I look good.
Because NECA better watch out. What do you mean I look good? What does that have to do with anything?
No, I'm saying if you hang around, if you with a whole bunch of losers, that's making me look good.
Oh, right. 100%. And you don't, and also too, you don't feel like you have to do more. You don't have to elevate.
Right.
You don't have to get more. 100%. You're correct on that. 100%. So it's just crazy to me that for the position that she is on this show, when you look at the most accomplished people on that show and the people that are doing the most things outside of that show, it is Candace, it is Wendy, it is Karen, and somehow they are on the outs. It blows my brain.
Right.
What would be your dream cast for Real Housewives of Potomac?
Honestly, it will always have to be Candace. I would actually really enjoy if they brought on the new friend that's actually friends with Wendy and Candace, the dark-skinned cutie who owns the medical spa.
See, I don't know if they're going to bring her on because, that was the girl that was fighting.
Right.
In that video.
Right. So if they would, just because she's an established young African-American woman living in the area, I love that she's a businesswoman, not like Mia's business where she was bought on from her ex-husband Gordon's family's business. No, she actually built her own.
Right.
So with that being said, I would enjoy that. I would want a Scala back. You need to get rid of Robin and you need to get rid of Giselle, honestly. Because honestly, the two of them really bother me. And number one is actually by looking, just by observing before they even open their mouths. It's the attire. So that bothers me. That's number one. Number two.
Ashley's attire bothers me way more than Giselle's attire.
See, Ashley's
and I don't know why
dancing everywhere in her outfits bother me more than anything. Because her TikToking while she's wearing
TikTok, you don't stop.
her TikToking in like an Atlanta stripper outfit. No shade to the girls in Atlanta because they actually do get coin out there. But I'm saying the looks that y'all be giving, that's what she gives on Thursday night. So it's kind of wild. And she doesn't work at the club. Y'all do. So that bothers me.
It's just all so low budget. Just everything about it. Everybody is underwhelming. Like, I will give Ashley the props though. That shortcut she had in that confessional this episode, I was like, okay,
that
Ashley.
little flapper moment that she did, that little 1920 little
that shortcut was cute.
We'll cover it beforehand.
Like that old school, not old school, but it was very Carrie Hilson, When Love Knocks You Down. Pretty girl rock with that the tail at the back. I was like, okay, I see you, girl. It was cute. It was even 2010 and I was here for it.
No, I enjoyed it, but you still don't give nothing to me. So the thing about it is, I would want you to stay on the show. She would still be on the show for me, because this way, one thing's for sure that we know about Ashley, she gonna stir some shit up. She gonna find some shit out about you and bring it collectively to the group. So
yeah, but it's not. See, but but the issue that I have is that it is not genuine when the cast is disjointed. It feels like production told you to carry this bone over to Wendy so you can start shit with NECA. it doesn't when it never felt like that way on Atlanta. It never felt that way on Beverly Hills. It felt genuine, like, oh, you was talking shit about my friends. You was talking shit, so why don't you just say it right now? Versus like Ashley does it in a way that is just so cringe. It's not like,
well, because she's not a serious enough bone collector. When Sheree was collecting bones, she was standing on business. Ashley don't give you stand on business. Does that make sense? So where her, you know what I'm saying? So her presence doesn't allow her to even do that. So that's why it's almost always a joke when she is being a bone collector, and she really be bringing information. But also, it's the way that she's trotting over to you saying it. You like, are you serious?
Yeah, because that drives me up a wall.
I'm like, girl, did you? Girl.
If there's one thing that I can say that irritates me really badly about Candace, and this is probably the only thing that irritates me about Candace.
Oof.
And that is, first of all, you're going to stop talking about my girl when it comes to her singing. She is probably the best singer on all of the housewives. A low bar. Low bar. It's a low bar, I know.
Girl, that's who you're talking to. Because if you're talking about Candy International, then you know you need to stop lying.
Oh my God. Well, whatever. But listen, I want this is what will make me happy. And I will be 100% backing Candace. Stop crying over them hoes. I don't mean her being emotional. I don't mean her like, I'm just emotional. I'm a crier when I get upset. I'm not talking like that. But I'm talking about this season where, like, but prior to this season, she was crying over Giselle, like trying to be friends with Giselle and be friends with Giselle. And now you're crying over Robin. Oh, she's like, I was so happy when I saw her doing all the interviews and stuff, dogging Robin out, rightfully so. And then you get on this show and like completely backtracking, like, oh, I don't know why she's mad at me. You know why she's mad at you. You were dragging her. Rightfully so, you're dragging her.
You literally, rightfully so, you dragged her.
Right.
Girl, you ate her up.
Right, you were eating her up left and right. Rightfully so, but I don't understand the backtrack now. I don't understand, I don't understand why she's upset. Everybody was saying it. Okay, Bill down the street can talk all the trash about me all he wants. But if one of my close friends says the exact same thing, it's going to hit different.
Oh, it's going to cut me.
Right, so stop acting like you don't know. And also stop chasing these girls. You are winning. You are winning.
Right.
Yes, production and the network may love Giselle and all that great stuff, but guess what? In the grand scheme of things, if you were to get fired, your life would not change, Candace.
No.
The fact that Candace is working, Candace has jobs.
No, she
an
does.
S. And the fact that production doesn't highlight that or want to follow her around and highlight that, but we get to see fucking Giselle and her Etch-a-Sketch house every left and right with this boring ass storyline. No, with this boring ass storyline. And don't get me wrong, her daughters are very cute and cool. Like, her daughters are very cute and cool, whatever. But I don't care about her daughters going off to school because guess what? I don't care about Giselle. Giselle gives me nothing. I tell people this all the time. Oh my God. They be like, oh, Aaron, you're so good with kids. And then they think that if they bring their kid around me, I'm going to be good with their kid. If I don't know you, if I don't like you, I don't care about people's kids that I don't know.
No, that's valid.
If I'm cool with the parents, I like parents, then yes, I'm engaged with the child. So with Giselle, I don't like you. I don't care for you. I don't care about your life. And the things that you do give us, it's blah and boring. Because just like Karen said about Jamal living in that phone, that young boy is living where he living at in that phone. I'm bored. Just throw Potomac away. Just throw it away. I'm sorry. Just throw it away.
So again, and if we're talking about things that bother you, the one thing that I will say, like I said, Candace, we already know, girl, we love your voice. We love it. But stop remixing the songs. You gotta stop.
It's not remixing a song. She has multiple songs. She has a full album.
Oh God. Okay. You and like 4 people know it. Anyway, not bashing Candy. Love you, girl. What I'm saying is, so my ideal cast essentially would be Candace, Wendy, Ashley. I would actually bring back Charisse. Because Charisse is...
Well, I'm glad you're not in charge of casting, because this is a horrible show. You're going to run into the same issue. And why are you keeping Ashley?
Well, I just told you. I think she's funny when she's being the bone collector.
Not at all.
Well, that's my problem is, well, it depends on the situation. Let me take that back.
You know what? Let me take everything back. This is your casting. Never mind. Go ahead, do your thing.
So that's why again, not everything she does I think is funny, but that's my problem. I think a lot of things are funny and they really probably aren't. But Ashley would be a 50-50 for me. It would definitely be Wendy. It would definitely be Candace. It would definitely be Karen, because Karen is everything to me. Triple 20, yeah, we live for it. Honestly, we're gonna bring it back to Scala because I really enjoy her, love her. I like the dark-skinned girl if she's able to come back, the one who owns her own beauty spa.
But what do you like about her? She hasn't said a thing.
You know what it is? I think that her presence in general, like, makes the girls have other conversation. I think for her, when she's been around the girls, it's been really positive energy. Yes, I don't like to judge a book by its cover, and just go off of her looks and just a couple of words that she said. But I think she could be a great influence. I'm just saying, she was complimenting the girls when she came in. She was friendly. She wasn't standoffish, because the girls are standoffish. The girls are stank when they only know one person and they're coming into a group. They're very standoffish. They don't really know how to own a room. She was not afraid, but also not fanning out over these ladies when she came into the group or when she came into settings with them.
To be fair, there's nothing to fan out about when it comes to this group.
And again, that is very valid. That is very valid. But again, somebody who is a desperado could have wanted that, who was looking for that, an opportunist. Right. She didn't come in like that. She has her own business. I think that really sets a precedent to the show itself, because unfortunately we're losing the housewife aspect of doing things other than at least being a housewife. And if you're not a housewife or an ex-housewife, have your own business, but let it be your business, whether it's your little quote unquote your little business or it's a multi-million-dollar company. Let's go back to seeing girls win. So I think that would be a great asset to the show.
This is probably the only show Potomac is probably the show that has the most married cast, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There's only one single person on the show, and that's Giselle.
Yeah. And that's Robin too.
Robin's married.
Is she?
Yeah, she's married. She may not, have a conventional marriage, but she's married.
Well, what's a conventional marriage?
I guess one where a man doesn't cheat.
Oh, okay. So she's in an arrangement. In conclusion, I just think revamping the cast all together, and maybe just kind of omitting even the names that we've said in the past, but just kind of starting a fresh start on the brand itself. And I honestly think they could go far, because DC, Maryland, Potomac area is a very prominent, affluent neighborhood and area. So I would love to see the variations of what a Potomac quote unquote housewife looks like, very similar to what they did in New York this season.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm going to say about it.
I agree, because they got a whole bunch of girls that were not of that ilk. So I'm not sure if Bravo or Truly are listening to us, but next season better not look like this season. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Snap Black Podcast. Again, I am one part of this podcast, and my name is Poe Theory.
And it is the one and the only part 2, the Little Mrs. Trendy. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, snap. It's the Snap Black Podcast.